It was a shock, it was March break. I remember perfectly, the kids were gonna be off for a week and then they were gonna make it a second week, 2 weeks. And, at the time, if you were paying attention to the news, you knew it was quite serious, but you really thought it was gonna go away in a couple of weeks and it didn't, so. Yeah, it's been hard to believe.
The first thing we did was we sent home all staff except for our on-air announcers. We actually have the ability that the announcers can do their shows from home. However, we just felt it was very important that the community not see the radio station panicking, that they see the announcers in the studio, Mike shooting his video out front of the Moose every morning. It just showed that we needed to be strong for the community. So we just felt we needed to project that all was going to be okay.
It was important for me to get in here every day from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. For some people, it can be the loneliest hours because, the mall's not open or they couldn't get out and go to Walmart or they couldn't, so they're just at home by themselves. So it was important for me. We are sitting at 17 degrees in downtown North Bay. So yesterday on the show was injuries, dumb injuries.
Well, we think it's our job to keep the community informed and entertained. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint for us. It's not, let's just get through this year. It's let's build stations and communities over the next 10, 20, 50 years. Country 90.5 is the only radio station in Canada that was approved by the CRTC, built and launched during the pandemic.
Corey Marks, get excited North Bay because finally country is back where it belongs on the FM dial. So let's get her done.
Here we go.
Kicking off a new chapter in local radio and in country music. North Bay's best country starts now with my first certified gold single, Outlaws and Outsiders, on Country 90.5.
Here we go, baby. Yeah, North Bay. Turn it up.
Good morning. It is 7:41 and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Kevin O Show. It is a pleasure to be back in this time slot. I want to thank Vista Radio for granting me this opportunity.
Pretty proud of the team, and it was a significant investment on the part of Vista Radio to spend a lot of money building the station. We've hired 3 new full-time positions just for the station right here in North Bay. We've pushed both our studios right up into the front window on Main Street. We felt that was very important as well for the downtown core to see that we're committed to downtown and businesses down here, and we want to be visible and part of that neighborhood.
I encourage you to stick with us here on MooseFM as we get into the last hour of our radiothon, KevsKids.ca.
We've still been able to do some events and some fundraisers, and they've been successful beyond hope. It's the kind of community involvement that we do all the time. Certainly it was scaled back over the last year and a half, but we still see events that say Kevin had, hosted for 10 years. They're following Kevin. They're coming, bringing it over here, and he's seeing great success for them.
The Kindness Cruiser came out of how resilient the community was in taking care of each other. When we would hear these stories, we've got, people fetching groceries, we've got people shoveling each other's driveways. We've got people taking care of each other. Someone came up with the idea of let's go thank these people because, they're getting thanked by, their neighbor, I'm sure, but, the community needs to know that these people are doing great work.
They showed up at my office. I didn't know, unannounced to me. I was working and wanted to surprise me with some flowers as well as a full, massive, the jumbo box of Mr. Freezies. I'd never seen one that big, to be honest, for me to be able to freeze up and hand out to more kids. So that was a great gesture on their part and definitely encouraging me to keep doing what it is that we are trying to do. I felt we were so restricted, I didn't want the children to think that we had forgotten about them. And on a series of 5-day shifts, I came up with 5 good deeds that I would do one every day. And one of them, I just randomly duct taped a box of Mr. Freezies to the front push rack of my cruiser and went to every individual house where I knew the kids lived to hand them out, COVID friendly if you want, Mr. Freezies. I stayed in my unit. They got to pick out of the box and told them I was thinking about them, and just a way to kind of still have a funny little moment, a ha-ha moment with them and let them know we still were around and we still cared. And that's the whole objective, right, is you want that paid forward, that trickle effect. You definitely could see that it influenced other people just trying to come up with ideas as silly as duct taping a box of freezies. It doesn't take much. And I've noticed with children, as long as you give them time, they're appreciative of your time. They just want to spend time with you. So that was a bonus for me. I think we have to go back old school where we used to take care of one another and a community work together to help people move forward and ensure that they're okay.
I set my alarm every day and it never goes off. I wake up before it and I feel when I'm here and the phones are ringing and people are calling and I see the cars going down the streets, I actually feel like I'm part of the city and I feel like we're all kind of waking up together, and it's a great way to start your day. Even though it's a little bit early, I love it. I think that if anything that COVID has brought the community together in a lot of ways that we might not realize for a couple of years. We live in a great community. We really do care for each other, and it shows in a lot of ways. And just kind of being on the front line of that, and then doing this kindness cruiser, I see it every day of how we're taking care of each other and how we're actually learning to recognize that more and more every day.